This is Peugeot 308, the new Peugeot 308. Peugeot has run out of numbers, so all the new compacts will now be called, yeah, you guessed it, 308.
By the way, doesn't the car look a bit like a Volkswagen Golf?
But the boot is almost 20 liters bigger than in the Golf. Unfortunately, there are no hooks to sort of secure your shopping bags, so yeah, all your shopping is gonna fly around from left to right.
So the boot's big, but what about space in the back?
It's not much better in the back, I'm afraid. Now the seat is set for a mid-sized driver, and a mid-sized passenger doesn't have much space left for his legs, not to mention the feet under the chair. And there's a tunnel in the middle. Now, there's also a tunnel in a Volkswagen Golf, but in a Toyota Auris, there is no tunnel. The floor is flat, much more comfortable in the back. Things are getting more interesting in the front. Now, we already know the dials which are above the steering wheel from the 208 and 2008. There's a smaller steering wheel. We'll talk about implications of this design when we get on the road. Now, dominating the front is simplicity. In the new 308, everything looks simple. Now, in the Allure version, the touchscreen is standard, and most of the controls are on this touchscreen, including air conditioning.
Remaining on the center console are the volume knob for the radio, rear window heater, hazard lights, door lock.
An interesting touch is the rev counter. The arrow on the rev counter moves in the opposite direction to the arrow on the speedo. It's amusing, but you know, it's not really necessary. Instead of amusing analog dials, I would like to have some influence on what I see on the display between them. And I see my speed. So why do I need an analog speedo in the first place? In PSA cars, usually I would have some control over what I see there. I could get information from sat-nav, from radio. I could see my average fuel consumption. Now all this information is moved to the central touchscreen, and to see that information I will have to press this button here on the wiper stalk. I asked Peugeot about what's up with this display here, and they told me that in 208, 2008 and 308 they wanted to group all the crucial information in one place, and they did it here, where I have to take my eyes off the road. Bullshit. Sorry about that.
However, the touchscreen itself is easy to use and you can operate it even wearing gloves.
Let me get back for a minute to the cockpit design and the dials which are above the steering wheel. Now, the first time you sit behind the wheel of a 308, you feel like you're driving a go-kart, and that's pretty cool. However, this is probably the only time this car will feel dynamic. The 1.6 petrol engine, 125 horsepower, propels this car from 0 to 100 in around 9 seconds, which is not bad, but this car does not feel fast at all. And I don't expect it to. The 308 is supposed to be comfortable, and comfortable it is. The suspension is not too hard, the car is not too loud, which is all good. There is also a 6-speed manual gearbox, so on longer journeys with 6th gear on, the fuel consumption goes down, the car is quiet. Perfect. The extra urban fuel consumption, it might not be as low as the 4.5 liters that Peugeot promises, but somewhere around that. In the city, Peugeot promises around 8 liters, I got around 9 liters, so that's okay, that's reasonable. And now, behold, because in the 308, Peugeot has done something which, in my opinion, is going to go down in history of French automotive design. Peugeot has made a cup holder which will fit one Starbucks cup. Ta-da!
Besides lack of hooks in the boot and the tight rear seat, are there any other problems? Visibility over the shoulder is terrible. Changing lanes or reversing out of a parking spot is like playing Russian roulette.
And then there's the gear knob, finished in aluminium. Money, right? Now there is one slight itty-bitty problem with this, because in the summer the aluminium is gonna get hot, and in the winter it's gonna be freezing. This is why car manufacturers usually don't use metals to finish the elements which we have to touch. With prices starting at around 16,500 euros, Peugeot 308 slots between the Toyota Auris and Volkswagen Golf. Now, these two offer a lot of practicality, and Peugeot, well, it's got the looks. Why can't someone finally design a car which would offer both? Meanwhile, if you would like to see more of my reviews, please subscribe to my channel by clicking here.